Well, if this news is confirmed by Hamas, then it's going to be a big shock and loss for the resistance movement Hamas and for a great percentage of the population in Gaza. We're also waiting to hear confirmation, final words from the Israeli military. Now, of course, this development might push Israel, headed by Netanyahu, to start negotiations for prisoner swap deal. And this is considered a big day. If it's confirmed, it will be euphoria, another victory for Netanyahu, who has been under a huge pressure from the international community to stop this genocidal war. Since the 7th of October, Gaza has been subjected to an all-out aggression, genocidal war under the pretext of self-defense, and much of Gaza has been destroyed. Now, of course, some people blame Hamas for what happened. Others, they say Hamas is the result and product of Israel. If Israel ends its occupation, then the resistance will lay their arms.
And is that your sense of it? And my apologies, you're an analyst, not an activist. Is that your sense of it as well, that that could happen and there would be an end to the violence if the occupation was brought to an end?
I think this is another chance for the Israeli society and for the international community to pressure Israel to end its military occupation, because you will have more Sinwars. Israel has actually orphaned tens of thousands of Palestinian children, and those children, when they grow up, they will become resistance and freedom fighters. So again, we are going to be back to square zero. Israel will not feel safe. The Middle East will not have stability as long as Israel occupies Palestinian lands, and as long as there is international hypocrisy, international silence. I mean, the international people, the international community have been watching this digital genocide being broadcasted by the victims for over a year now. And children are being killed, burned alive, families wiped out. Much of Gaza has been destroyed. People of Gaza, they say the international community has failed them. And they say that Israel is actually using their blood for political gains. If you look at the Israeli media, they don't show their society what's going on in Gaza. All what Netanyahu has been doing is lobbying the right, the left, the center, the opposition, the international, the Jewish people worldwide behind him to say, look, we are fighting a terrorist organization. But what has been going on Gaza is a collective punishment. It's a brutal revenge. And by killing Sinwar, this is not going to end the resistance, because the resistance is an idea. And Palestinians say that they have nothing to lose. And I don't think that by killing Sinwar as well, that Israel will tell the world, like, look, we have achieved something. Israel will keep shedding crocodile tears. It will claim that it faces threats from Gaza, from southern Lebanon, and from Iran. But at the end of the day, the root cause of this conflict is the occupation. Sinwar was enjoying popularity because he spent some years in Israeli jails. And he was behind the mastermind who organized and orchestrated the 7th of October operation. Now, that attack was a surprise for all of us. Hamas did not consult the Palestinian people when they carried out their attack, but Israel exploited what happened in order to unleash its brutal revenge and to ethnically cleanse the population, especially from northern Gaza. And Gaza is the world's largest open-air prison, and it has been transformed into the world's largest concentration camp. And this concentration camp has been transformed into an extermination camp. Let me remind you and remind the viewers that Palestinians, they have over 12,000 Palestinian political prisoners held in Israeli jails, including tens of Palestinian minors and women without a charge or trial. So what Hamas wanted to do on that day is to bring the world's attention and to the grievances of the Palestinian people.
And Yousef, and this is the thing, and look, you said it's crocodile tears. The pain and suffering that has been meted out to everyone in this region is something far more than anything cynical as that, wouldn't you say? And that is that really leaves the question then, doesn't it? Is if Sinwar has been killed, what does come next? Does the fighting continue, or is there another way forward?
Well, the ball is in the Israeli court. Now it's up to Netanyahu to say, look, we have achieved another illusional victory by killing Sinwar. And I think the Israeli society, the families of the Palestinian hostages, now they will impose more pressure on Netanyahu to push him to sign or to reach a prisoner swap deal. I think there's no justification for this genocidal war to go on. There are no targets to attack. I mean, Israel has killed so many people, over 45,000, tens of thousands of civilians, and over 100,000 Palestinians who have been injured. Much of Gaza has been destroyed. So I think it's useless. It's meaningless. I mean, now it's time to reach a settlement to this conflict, to release all the hostages. And of course, we are against the killing of civilians from both sides. But at the end of the day, Israel does not consider Palestinians as humans. Israel has been dealing with Palestinians as subhumans. Israel has been demonizing the Palestinian people, justifying its attacks by the fabrications that came out from the 7th of October about the hating babies and the rape story and so on. So I think now there's a chance that this genocide comes to an end. People in Gaza, of course, they are following this story, and they say that they hope that Netanyahu has had enough blood. So it's time now to end this war and to save the lives of 2.3 million people who have been languishing in the prison of Gaza.
And Yousef, it's that dehumanization, isn't it? This lack of seeing either side as being human, which is really at the root cause of all of this. And it strikes me as very difficult to believe that more killing can bring about a peaceful settlement to this moment. Does there need to be more input from those willing in the region to say that we can bring about a peaceful solution in Gaza? If it is your contention, as you said, that the Israelis don't want to bring this about, can more pressure be put on them and on leaders in Gaza and in the West Bank to try and bring a peaceful solution?
Now, look, everybody knows, including yourself, that Israel enjoys impunity. Israeli officials, politicians, they have never been held accountable for the multiple war crimes that they have been committing ever since 1948. And let me remind you again, and the viewers, that history did not start on the 7th of October. I think it's up to the American administration, who is going to come next as a president, to really show the world that the US, that has been exporting civilizations, democracy, and slogans of human rights, that it is serious about ending the suffering of millions of Palestinians who have been living under colonialist, brutal military occupation across the occupied Palestinian territories. The two-state solution has been dead. Israel has killed any chance for the two-state solution. They have been making things miserable in order to drive the remaining millions of Palestinians out of the land. They say the land is too small, and they are not willing to share it. They don't trust Palestinians. So that's why there is a notion now, there is a support for the one democratic, secular state for all of its citizens, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity, color, to live side by side next to each other with harmony, coexistence, with equal rights. The most important point is equal rights, because Israel does not, as I say, does not deal with Palestinians as human beings. So the US administration, the European Union, the UK, they must exercise serious pressure, take practical steps on the ground to say, stop, enough is enough, enough bloodshed. Palestinians deserve to have a state of their own. They have been struggling for self-determination for decades. So now the test now lies on the shoulders of the international community, who have been allowing Israel for over a year to carry out this genocide under the pretext of self-defense.
Yousef Alhelou, political analyst, appreciate your expertise.